Page 2 on Ol Broadway. 4/4 time. No sharps or flats in a key signature, so we're in the key of C major for this one. Make sure you can do the scale for C major, and while you're at it, do the scale for A minor, because it also has no sharps or flats. And you ought to be doing the 2 octaves up and down, at least in my opinion. I have videos on it. Just do the beginner and intermediate levels that I explain in the video. I'm not going to spoon feed you the notes here. Once you get this, you ought to be able to read the notes and know what they are, but sometimes the rhythms and the chords. Well, at the beginning, right hand, it's a D, an E, and a G. And then 2 measures later, you get the D minor chord. And then starting at measure 5, the little numbers at the beginning of each line in a box, that's a measure number. Okay. And you're just going up. Same fingers, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And then at measure 9, it starts, you get the melody. And it's here. Really, the first 2 lines of this is like an introduction. It's not marked as though it, but it's sort of, it's like, this is where the song actually starts. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So it's 1 and 2, the rest comes on beat 2. And 3, this rhythm is all over. Go down to measure 15. That's 1 and 2 and 3. Now you're just coming up like a C major scale. 1, 2, 3. Another advantage of doing the scales, if you've been doing the scales, you get these passages in music, you just play them. You don't have to practice nothing. It just happens. That C scale going up, right there, it's just rhythm slightly different, but that's all right. It works out very well. On measure 19, you're doing it again, but it's up here. 1 and 2 and 3. Go down to measure 24. So last measure, second line. We're in parallel sixth here, and we're just going to use 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then going on measure 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm using 1 and 5 on all of these. There are other fingers that can use, but this works, so let's just do that. At the end, if you want to use the last 2 notes, if you want to use 1 and 2, 5, that's fine. Usually I will do a 2, 3. When I see this pattern, I will use it here. So thumb. There's nothing wrong with using thumb on both of those. It's just out of habit I tend to use other fingers to help the thumb out a little bit if I can. And here, you can do that. Left hand, well, left hand you start right off with that rhythm down here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's pretty much the left hand. Once you can get that, the rest of the left hand kind of falls in place. However, the left hand does get a C major scale going down. If you look at measure 29, it's 1 and 2, and then it's just a C major scale going down. So again, if you can do the scale, not a problem. And the very last note has an 8VA under it. You go down. If you have a short keyboard, you just play the lowest C you have. That's good enough. Put the hands together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Typically out of habit in this left hand. We'll finger from measure 9 on. I'll put the thumb on here and I'll use 1 and 4. That puts me in position. But if you look at measure 8, they have you here. You're out of position. So what I'm suggesting you do, and there's multiple ways of doing this, is I want to change position from here to here. So either I can just start with a thumb on measure 9 here, I can go ahead and use second finger on measure 9, and then on measure 10 use 1. There's no one right way to do it, but I suggest you have a thumb on the C by the time you get to measure 10. You can do it on measure 9 if you want. That way you're in position for all the other stuff. Once you can put the hands together pretty well, and then no wrong notes, no hesitations. You can go slow. It doesn't matter how fast you go at this point, but it's got to be a steady beat. No hesitations allowed. Then we can add in articulation. Is it staccatos or short staccatos, and I usually hinge at the wrist, depending on which wrist is needed. It's just a 1. So it's here. On the last line on page 3, start at measure 29. Let's get into it, because you've been doing staccatos now and here. Then accents. Personally, I disagree with putting accents on a very loud note. There's 2 F's there, that's fortissimo. This is super loud already. I don't need an accent there. It's going to, on piano. Now on other instruments it can make a difference, but on piano you just play them loud. Don't play with a stiff wrist. Don't bang it, boom. You just play it really loud. Let the wrist collapse a little bit when you do it. Very loud. And that's both hands too. Because usually when we talk dynamics, well, let's talk dynamics. Okie doke. You're starting loud at the beginning, and really this is going to be pretty much both hands for the introduction, which is the first 2 lines. Now you have to decide what loud is. It's loud to you, whatever. And then come down a little bit to moderately. That's the melody. The left hand has to get soft, right there. Soft, because then we want to hear the melody at that point. But as I said, there is no real melody going on for the introduction. Both hands can be the same. So it's here. Starting measure 8, you're here. And then you're going to go up to loud here. Measure 18. Moderately loud. And this soft. Moderately soft, moderately loud, and then stay moderately loud in the left hand. But this, the right hand, that's loud. So it's... You get the idea, I hope. And you're staying loud pretty much through the whole piece, except at the bottom when you actually get louder. Here at the measure 29. Now the left hand has been moderately loud, so I suggest you start measure 29. You're loud, but this is just start at moderately loud where you've been, and you're gradually going to go up to loud. That's loud, and now very loud for the last of it. Yeah, that's my impression of it. Now for speed, they say energized, and they give you some metronome markings, and it needs to be accurate. No hesitations anywhere. So it's your energized. I haven't really had enough coffee yet this morning for my energized to kick in yet, but we'll see. So it's up to you on, it's not an exact speed. I mean, that's why they give you a range up there, and that's just a suggestion. Again, it's your energized. Now please don't copy me. I'll give you an idea of what it sounds like, but you have to make it yours. See, I have mixed givings about playing things for people, because usually they say, well, play it for me, let me hear it, and no, I want you to read the music and you discover how it sounds. And then if you want, go listen and see how others play it and compare to what you've done. but don't start out with listening to somebody else and just copying them. So please don't copy me on this.